The Super Bowl teams are decided. The San Francisco 49ers will be taking on the legacy champs, the Kansas City Chiefs. And there's one thing that everybody seems to be able to talk about. And no, it's not football. It's Taylor Swift. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about here today on Speechless. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Speechless. I'm your host, Kev Phares, 23-year-old conservative activist, as well as former college student. I guess you would call that a graduate. Yeah, something like that. And host of Speechless, not only on several radio stations, but also here on YouTube. So make sure, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you think, share it with your friends, all that fun stuff. Definitely subscribe. We're growing here. Speechless Army, Speechless Nation, whatever you want. If you want to be put on a watch list, subscribe to this channel. I'd appreciate it. But speaking of watch lists, my good friend and history teacher, Josh Bender, is right here. Probably a watch list is dedicated entirely to himself.
I hope so. I really do.
Probably. But so obviously earlier this week on Sunday, it was decided that it'll be the 49ers and the Chiefs. What are your thoughts?
Well, I want to say that you were wrong. You thought it was going to be the Ravens and the Ravens and the
49ers was my guess
because of the colors. So you were wrong. I just want to admit that.
I thought it was the colors. I also just really didn't want the Chiefs.
I wanted to be the Ravens versus the Lions. That's personally what I was going for. But I mean, I'll go for the 49ers because when I did fantasy, Brock Purdy was my quarterback, and so I'm gonna back him. He was pretty good.
Well, I still beat you in fantasy, so
I was in another league, and that I won. I can.
Whoa. Okay. Well, anyways, but there's been a lot of talk about Taylor Swift in the last
my least favorite subject.
So we're going to talk a little bit about her. Taylor Swift. This is out of the Hill. Taylor Swift conspiracy theories engulf conservative social media. Conservative social media is engulfed with the Taylor Swift conspiracy theory centered on the idea that the NFL is rigging games to ensure the pop superstar and the boyfriend's team both make and win the Super Bowl just in time to give a nod to President Biden in the presidential election. Swift, coming off a year in which her Eras tour broke records, her concert movie boosted the box office, and her romance with Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce broke the internet, is perhaps at the peak of her popularity and fame. This attracted attention from the political world, with the Biden campaign said to be interested in a dream endorsement from Swift, according to an article published Monday by the New York Times. Swift endorsed Biden in 2020 and has been somewhat active in politics, also endorsing Democrat Phil Bredesen against Republican Marsha Blackburn when the latter was first elected in 2018. Kansas City has been to 3 Super Bowls in 5 years and 1 Sunday in a game that featured terribly timed turnovers and careless penalties from the losing Baltimore Ravens. While Kansas City was the underdog, the victory was hardly a big surprise. But that seems to matter little to those fanning these conspiracy theories. Quote, I wonder who's going to win the Super Bowl next month. Former GOP presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy wrote this the morning after the Chiefs' victory. And I wonder if there's a major presidential endorsement coming from an artificially, culturally propped up couple this fall. Just some wild speculation over here. Let's see how it ages over the next 8 months. What are your thoughts on these conspiracy theories, Joshua?
I saw that a lot. I saw a whole thing about how her lucky number is 13, and there's all this weird girl math that you do that leads to 13.
Okay, explain what girl math means.
Girl math is life. Girl math is anything I say it is, as as I just say it randomly to make a certain someone upset. And so I'll just go girl math, and she's like, "Stop! That's not what it is." I'm like, "But it is, though. I think I would know."
It makes me upset too. So.
Yeah, I love doing it. But yeah, I mean, it's so crazy. I mean, I've seen so many like, oh my God, he's gonna win and he's gonna propose to her, and then they're gonna endorse Biden, and like they're gonna do all this thing and blah blah blah. I mean, the first time it was supposed to be rigged, it was supposed to be the 49ers versus the Ravens because of the colors. That clearly didn't happen. So, I mean, maybe they caught wind, and so they're like, oh, we have to change it now. And now people are waiting for that more. I don't know.
See, okay, one thing I want to point out, because I think this is really funny. The Babylon Bee never fails to entertain me. Conservatives undercover Democrat plot to turn Taylor Swift into an international pop star and the Kansas City Chiefs into a dynasty so Swift could date a Chiefs player and leverage the collective media coverage to get Joe Biden. Satire. That's what I'm looking for. Babylon B. How could you?
Yeah.
Point. No, it's hilarious. See, here's the thing about all of this is I don't trust Taylor Swift, nor do I like her.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't either.
I've been very clear about that on my show. I've done entire videos specifically with the intention to bash Taylor Swift because I don't like her and she scares me. However, I don't necessarily think that this entire relationship is a prop specifically for Joe Biden. Now, I've said on this show, I'm always reasonably skeptical of things, and it could be a multitude of things. Travis Kelce did, in fact, have a very lucrative deal with Pfizer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say much more about what Pfizer does and what they have produced since 2020, but I'll let my viewers make that understanding. Taylor Swift is known to be one of the most influential people in the pop sphere currently. And when I say pop, I just mean popular culture in general. In fact, so much so that out of the Daily Mail earlier this week, Taylor Swift could sway 2024 election outcome. New poll finds with a fifth of voters, they're likely to back the candidate endorsed by the singer. 18% of voters say that they are more likely or significantly more likely to vote for a candidate endorsed by Taylor Swift. This election will see 8 million new voters in the U.S. electorate and a total of 41 million Gen Z voters, many of whom are influenced by celebrities. The pop star's stratospheric influence on pop culture may sway the race to the White House, especially as new Gen Z voters join the electorate this year. In a poll conducted by Redfield and Wilton Strategies for Newsweek, 18% of voters say they are more likely or significantly more likely to vote for a candidate endorsed by Taylor Swift. Her sway was more visible with voters under the age of 35, and this election will see, like I said, 8 million new voters. So, there's a lot to talk about with that. I mean, we should start off building off of the conspiracy theory thing. Now, I don't necessarily believe the relationship was entirely for this political purpose. However, I totally understand why somebody could come to that conclusion.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I see tons of videos and posts talking about how their relationship is fake and it's all just for this and that. I mean, look, we aren't them. We don't know for sure what's going on with their relationship, and I will always say that. You know what? I do hope that they truly are happily in love and they get married and have a great family. I do. I don't want her to be miserable her whole life, and I don't want him to be miserable. You know, I'm not going to be a stoic here. Do I think that they're gaining financially and politically for this? Absolutely. And I think they're going to take advantage of that, which I also don't blame them for. I mean, I would do the same thing if I was in that situation. Yeah, I mean, I have, and obviously I teach Gen Z, and I definitely have a student or two who have said, whoever Taylor Swift endorses, I'm voting for. And I'm like, and I've straight up said, don't do that. That's a bad idea. Like, that's a bad reason to vote for someone. But like, but we don't know what else to do. And I trust her, and I'm going to trust what she says. And it's like, yeah, but she doesn't know anything about the real world. She doesn't know about the real world in 15 years now.
Yeah, there's that. The biggest thing, though, is that what gives her any type of or any level of political knowledge? Like, she literally can just be like, well, this is how I feel. And she will have millions of people. In fact, 20% of the country will do as she says. There's a lot out there, and I've seen a lot. It's been trending on Twitter. The Taylor Swift Psyop is what people are calling it, is that this is a psychological operation through Taylor Swift. And while I don't necessarily believe it to be necessarily the same thing as MK Ultra,
right,
or anything like that, or as well planned, I have to say, my previous statements that Taylor Swift terrifies me remain.
Oh, yeah, she's terrifying. I mean,
because anybody who can have that level of an influence as a single individual, because here's the thing, is there are many quieter people that have great influence that we're just starting to understand. I mean, people like George Soros, Klaus Schwab, or organizations like BlackRock, Vanguard, or State Street. we're starting to get a better understanding of them. And the quiet man is those that those that I fear most. However, Taylor Swift having that level of influence, especially over the younger generation, those who are meant to be leaders, and people listening to them, makes me question the intelligence and sanity of many of our peers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, well, and people, I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift. I don't like her. I think she has a couple good songs, especially her older stuff is pretty good. When people are like, you respect nothing about her, I'm like, no, I respect the fact that she's a great businesswoman. She has made tons of money for herself. She's been able to brand herself in a way and build this following, and good on her. But yeah, what gives her any authority over anyone? What gives her any authority over who you should support, who you should vote for? I mean, I don't think anyone should do that. People say, well, what about when this UFC fighter gets up and endorses Trump? I think that's stupid too. I do. I think it's stupid either way.
Here's the thing: is I have no problem. The biggest problem I have is actually not even with Taylor Swift. Not a big fan. I'll be honest. I think she's a commie and a man-eater and a bad role model for young women. She also pushes a lot of the LGBTQ propaganda. There's so many things. I've gone on. I'll tag the video. You guys can go watch it as to why I don't like Taylor Swift. But my bigger problem is with the youth and the American education system. Yeah, so my problem's with you, Josh. Because any person who graduates high school and says, I'm going to vote for who my favorite celebrity tells me to vote for, unless your favorite celebrity is yours truly, or Ben Shapiro, or somebody who is a level, who they are famous for being a Politico, that's the only time. And even still, I think you should think for yourself. But if you really can't think for yourself and you need somebody to tell who to vote for, it shouldn't be Dana White. It shouldn't be Taylor Swift. It shouldn't be Sean Strickland. It shouldn't be Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be any of those people. If you're going to need somebody, if you're going to need a celebrity to tell you who to vote for, which you shouldn't, again, to be clear, you shouldn't. But if you're going to, it should be somebody who is famous for at least knowing some level of politics.
Right.
And it doesn't even necessarily be a conservative. Okay, listen to Rachel Maddow if you want to. I mean, you'd be an idiot if you did, but sure. I'd respect you more if you said I'm voting for who Rachel Maddow told me to vote for, over if you told me I'm voting for who Taylor Swift told me to vote for. Because at least you're taking it from a news source.
And the thing is, I mean, and like you said, Ben Shapiro, he's always said, "Here's who I support, and vote for who you want." And that's the thing is, most good political commentators will make that clear. This is who I think you should vote. This is who I'm voting for. Here's why I'm talking. Do your own research. Make your own choice. I mean, even my students are hell bent on trying to figure out who I'm voting for. And especially before the primary when there was more people. And I kept saying, why does it matter? Why does it matter that I'm not a celebrity by any means, but I'm influencing their lives in some way.
Yeah.
Why does it matter who I'm voting for? Vote for who you think you should vote for. Pick an issue, research that issue, figure out who aligns best with it. It's that simple. I'm like, maybe when the election's all over, sure. Or when DeSantis dropped out, I did mention, you know what? He was the one I liked right now. I like XYZ about him. I disliked XYZ. He's out now, though. It doesn't matter. And they're like, who now? I go, I don't know. I got to figure that out again. That's where I got to get back to, And so, but I'm like, but why does it matter who I'm voting for? Why does it matter who anyone else is voting for? Vote for who you want, make a choice, and move on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, in all, everybody, don't be stupid. Don't be
Yeah.
Vote for who you think should be president. Who you think. Not who Taylor Swift thinks should be president. Not who Jim Bob next door thinks should be president. Not who I think should be president.
Especially not you. Don't listen to Kevin Phares.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. But listen to yourself. Ask yourself the basic questions. Am I better off now than I was under the last president? Because those are who your options are, at least as it currently is. Which one of the two am I better off under for the most part, by and large? Ask yourself, how is my cost of living right now? Do I feel connected to my fellow Americans? What do I look for in a presidential candidate? Do I expect them to be mentally competent? All of these kinds of things. Ask yourself those questions. The question you need not ask yourself is, who is my favorite celebrity voting for president? That's how you sound. That's how you sound. If that's how you think, then that's how you sound. Do you sound smart? No. You sound like an idiot. So don't be an idiot, everybody. 2024, it's the year. Vote smart. Don't be an idiot.
And go 49ers.
Yeah, honestly.
That's what I'm rooting for at this point. Go 49ers. Go Brock Purdy.
You know the people that were like, settle for Biden in 2020?
Yeah.
That's how I'm settled for the 49ers. Simply, I'm voting against Taylor Swift.
Yeah, like I said, I wanted the Lions. As much as I don't like Detroit, I wanted the Lions. But that's not my option, so I've got to go 49ers. I'm going Brock Purdy. That's my guy.
Well, okay. Go 49ers, everybody. That's my endorsement. Who cares, though? Don't listen to me. Listen to yourself. Be smart. Don't be an idiot. That's everything I got to say. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you think, share it with your friends. Everything that I always say in every video consistently. You can't tell, I'm a little worked up, so make sure you do those things. Kevin said so. That's one thing you can listen to me for. Ring that notification bell. Hit it to all. God bless you. God bless America. And until next time, thank you for watching. Speechless.